Hello. Guess what I'm doing again? Decals. Not too many, and they're pretty simple. Can you hear me okay? Ow, 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 ow. Jen found me a newer, much more comfortable chair. The one we got from Amazon last year. The frame on it broke. I mean, like, I know I'm heavy, right? I ain't that fucking heavy. But this one also has a lower back, so we might be able to get some more chair cats going. Get that tradition back. Just doing a couple decals on the truck before I seal those under and start the dusting process. See what in the big picture? Huh? Hmm. There we go. I just popped off that. It's fucking wonderful. We'll glue that back on real quick. Looks like the glue never bonded there and allowed it to seep under. Allowed the paint to seep under. Oh yeah. That's for the upcoming figure. I figure I'd do that while I slowly start on the next big rig and trailer combo. Are there any more decals I want to put on this? Yeah, we'll do the Washington State plates. And I'm basing a lot of what I'm doing on pictures of West Coast logging trucks that I found online. They were dirty. They were beat up. Sorry, my legs are feeling tight today too. We've had storms coming through left and right the past couple days. Still a few more parts to do on the truck before I mist it down with dust. I need to add the roof lights here, some antennas, some other little details. But there are things that could be knocked off easily. Engine's mostly done. I need to find a piece of styrene tube big enough. Lost half of one of the parts, but I need to scratch build that. But it's pretty much done under there for now. At least for what I need. All the stuff I was doing on the frame before was essentially just to get it pre-dirtied, for lack of a better word. Setting solution. I didn't touch the volume. Just the way the mix is, I guess. Is it bad loud or okay loud? Which is weird since I haven't adjusted any of the settings. Or to quote Forrest Gump, it happens. Okay. Well, it's a 43-minute long mix, but it might be that particular song within the mix too. Here's the rear part of the trailer. Again, preliminary dirtying up. Part of me almost wanted to replace these. They're represented by solid rectangles, but they're actually wire hoops on the real vehicle, or on the real trailer. I'll just live with it though. We'll get to this in a sec. Well, Aries also has kind of a noise sensitivity thing, so this mix is a little odd. That part reminded me of the video of the divers off Hawaii. They got pinged by a Navy submarine sonar. I have to admit, I like the droning parts of the music like this, the stuff that sounds like the Dread soundtrack, more than I like the other parts. So how well are you gonna fit without me scraping the chrome off? Because I can just use super glue to get you to stay in place a little bit. Glue you in place, then we'll paint the orange lights on the tips. And we'll have to scrape the chrome off because it's too thick. But have you seen the videos of like the Russians hiding in the trenches with the drones going around? And people are, you know, jokingly saying, "Oh, new form of PTSD unlocked." They're not wrong. Just from the sound those drones make, these guys won't be able to even be around an electric leaf blower when they finally get done with all this shit. Just from that sound. So I actually feel sorry for them. People joke about that shit, but it's not a laughing matter. Oh, that brush was dirty. Is the volume amount better right now? Or is it at least staying more steady? I think so too. It'll be easier to paint the tips on these clear orange installed than trying to do it individually. What do you think of the truck so far, though? Last time you guys saw it, it was still in pieces. So, once this is done, I could continue on with another semi-truck, the Kenworth Aerodyne. Or would you rather see something else like another figure, or finally get started on the German tank transporter, which I bought over a year ago? Or about a year ago, actually. That's the main reason I prioritize this, is I've had it for a year. So I'm trying to finish the stuff I bought before I start the new stuff. And I did get the 40-foot reefer trailer for the Kenworth. I'm just trying to find the things that work well overall. The Krachenvogel starting video was my highest video. They go together pretty poorly because they tried to make it so they could use the one set of molds with varying other sprues to do all the F-16s. So no one F-16 is going to be right. I still think the Hasegawa 48 scale kits are the best overall in the market. They might be rather plain sometimes, but they are the best representative F-16s. Okay, those over here. I need the antennae for the CB radios. Probably repaint these steel once the glue is dry on them. But yeah, the Kinetic F-16s were some of the first kits Kinetic made. The intakes especially have a rather odd and confusing construction method, which makes it so they don't fit very well. They can be built okay, but there's some issues that need to be addressed on those kits. Problem is the Hasegawa ones are harder to find, and you might have to get more aftermarket to bring it up to the standard of what you're building, because I think the best all-round F-16 Hasegawa made was their Block 40-42 D model from Spangdahlem, the one with the shark mouth intake. But it's also the kit that has the large and small mouth intake options, the Pratt & Whitney or GE engine options. And it's also one of the harder ones to find now. Plus, even though the F-16 you're recreating might be a modern one, just as an example, we sold some F-16s to the Czech Republic not too long ago, right? While they were modern F-16s in terms of their abilities, they were based on A and B model airframes with some C model parts put on. So you have to look at, you really have to look at what you're recreating and know the differences in all that. Because they had the longer tails with the parachutes on them for shorter runways, but they also had the A and B model muzzle brakes for the guns, the fuselage side. So the foreign market F-16s are just really widely varied. Okay. Clear orange. damn it. I'll pick those up later. So I'll have to Google what the F-16 AM looks like. Would it be easier to get the kinetic kit if it's got all the right bits? Sure. But the kit may not be easy to assemble, or would it be easier to get a Hasegawa A model, you know, if that's what it's based on, and then apply the more specific parts to it? Music just went weird. Just give me 1 second. Yeah, but is the A in the AM denoting that it is an F-16A model? Which, if it is, it has a radically different tail, stabilators, and some other features. So yeah, you'd want an actual F-16A with the extended tail for parachutes. Yep. But it's got a C model muzzle brake from the look of it, because I'm only seeing the 2 slashes. Yeah. And it's got the AFM, basically the bird slicer in the front of the canopy. So you're looking at an A model with an extended tail. Pratt & Whitney engine. I mean, externally, that's all it's really going to be. It's nothing terribly complicated. There's other people out there that would nitpick it apart more. But yeah, it's not an F-16C or D. It's an A or a B if you want a 2-seater out of it. Okay. Put a sealer on the decals I just applied. Let that dry. Actually, let's get the grab handles onto the exhaust real quick. Which ones am I using? I don't know what it is lately. I've been having difficulty finding music that fits my mood sometimes. And Hasegawa may actually make that specific F-16A kit that you need. I don't know though. The real question is, would it have your nation's markings? But you said you've already got a decal set for that. A lot of the differences in the F-16 is mainly with the avionics and the internal pieces. Externally, it's, little vents here and there, tail fin packages. The A and B models have a narrower base at the tail. C models are a bit wider. They incorporated some different fixes to that. A lot of this chrome is going to be getting toned down here in the next step that I do, because I'm going to be misting the vehicle with like a dust. Let's see if I can make a mask for the wiper blades. What's that? Oh yeah. But I am no stranger to the F-16 either. It was a large part of my initial Air Force career and early adult life. Where's my masking tape? Actually, I'm gonna do one easier. Liquid mask. I'm just gonna draw this shit in by eye. Well, I'm not the only one. There's other people in the audience that have, but I'll let them speak up for when they want to. And mainly I've only done the 16 and the 15. Like A10, I'm honestly at a loss for when it comes to stuff like that. Never worked on it. So I'm just brushing liquid mask onto the windscreen. So that way when I mist it with my dusting material, which is probably just going to be thinned out tan paint from Mission Models. The shit doesn't like to stick very well anyway, so I figured I'd use that to my advantage. That way I can clean it off with Q-tips and brushes and water and stuff like that. It is. It's going to have a trailer. I still have to go out back and get some branches from a peach tree, which would be a lot straighter and more even for the logs. And I'll show you what the kit has as a plastic log here in a second. It's laughably hilarious. And then I need to run to Hobby Lobby probably on Thursday. If they're open. They should be, that's the 2nd. So I'll probably run to Hobby Lobby on Thursday. I need to get some chain to properly do... No diorama. Just a standalone. But I want to give the trailer a load so you know what it's used for. Before I start the misting, I need to do the rubber strips around some of the windows. So we're getting into the tiny details now. It's all the finishing touch stuff. And this is nowhere near done, but at the same time it's almost done. Because the pictures I've seen, a couple of the windows on this vehicle have surrounds that are made of rubber strip. I should have done the back window before I put the headache rack on, but that's my own stupidity. Q-tip. Alright, let me turn this shit off for a second. We'll find something else here in a bit. It's funny how music on a stereo you can listen to a certain degree. But when it's pumped into your ears, it hits different. There really is something about how something hits with the space of a room to kind of work with, as opposed to being right next to your head. Let's see what I can find here that's not that again. I think I had the same trouble with that song last time. usually a lot of the music I get to use on here comes from the copyright-free playlists, and when I preview them to see if I like them, I'm listening to them on my 5.1 system. So I'm hearing them, full tones and everything. And they seem to change how they hit with headphones, which is just, I don't know. Like you hear audiophiles talking about how certain music has a warmth to it. I get that. You lose that tone on headphones. Meanwhile, you get other people out there that only listen to stuff in headphones. And you wonder why their music sucks. I'm now tackling one of those things I kept putting off as, oh, I'll get it later, I'll get it later. Well, it's too late and I forgot about it. So I have to get it now. God damn it. See if I can hide the ugly of that with some weathering effects. Gonna be hiding a lot of ugly on this model. Nope, this one's not doing it for me either. What the fuck? Certain tones also hit you wrong sometimes. Like, in that one you heard that one constant guitar tone. Same thing in that, the song Life is a Highway. That high-pitched guitar hit that's in that song just drives me nuts. I can't listen to that song. Maybe it's showing something wrong in my brain, too. That I can't hear certain things anymore. I think I have quite a bit of that Depeche Mode on CD. Used to have it on cassette tape back in the day. Yeah, but when the background music just forces itself to pull you out of your mindset. And to me, background's got to stay in the background. might not be using the right brush for this, too. Like, take this particular song, for instance. It almost sounds like it would have worked better without the synthetic vocalizations that have been added to it. Oh, and speaking of F-35s, I don't know if you can hear that rumble in the background right now, but that is your much vaunted F-35 taking off. Actually, I have painted windows with Nitzareb in the background. At least Nitzareb, I understand the music and where it's coming from. Lakeside Drive, good song. But I don't want something as dry and simplistic as Skinny Puppy either. And depending on the song, even Front 242 can be a bit too plain. Okay. Did I surprise you with something that made you speechless? Yeah, I'm not going to be able to do that back, but that... I'm thinking I'm going to give this back area more dusting than normal. Ah. Well, look at it this way. Everybody knows the song Firestarter by Prodigy, right? What if I told you that that actual song was released as a instrumental only years before the Firestarter we know came out on Fat of the Land? Anybody with a PlayStation 1 and the game Wipeout XL knows exactly what I'm talking about. It was used as a track on that game years before the final finished version came out. And honestly, at least to me, I'll say, the instrumental version's better. I find the lyrics, while they do fit it, kind of break it. But look up the soundtrack for Wipeout XL on the PlayStation 1. And look at its release date, which I believe was well before Fat of the Land. am I just showing off how much of a geek I am now? I wanted to get the decals a sealing coat before I started the weathering. Hey, Bill Robertson, how you doing? Happy New Year. Welcome, welcome. How have you been? I'm alright. The last year has been a bit of a rough ride, but still 6 feet up and breathing. It's not your fault. Nothing you can do about it. It just happens. I wasn't expecting to have to rejoin the job market at 47 years old and a bunch of other things, but I made it through. I was looking for a color and I forgot what it was. I'm a fucking idiot. But I'm glad I did what I did because it showed me just how bad where I was. Okay, we're gonna re-glue you. Because I bumped it and made more work for myself. Actually gonna remove the nubs. Has it been okay for you though? No, it was something else, Alex. And just so you know, Bill, I'm also on YouTube. So if I'm talking to somebody that's not in our current chat, it's because they're on the YouTube side. Still working on getting the chat to show up in the window for both sides, so that way you guys can communicate between each other as well. No, it was the Chrome. So you know exactly what I mean then. It takes a lot of getting used to. Oh, the place I'm working now, I feel like I fit in a bit better now, you know? Some days are harder because of my own inabilities, but I've got a good boss who knows, you know, they acknowledge, they don't hold it against me, and they're not looking for an excuse to get rid of you kind of thing. So it's good. So we got windshield masking on for the wiper blade effect. Got the decals on and sealed. I think we're ready to dust the cab and the lower chassis and just kind of get everything blended a bit more. Oh, that's what happened at the other job, is we got a new boss after 12 years, and this new boss was one of those new age feminist type people, for lack of a better term. And after two of the other older people were fired or essentially forced away, as they had confided in me, I knew I was probably next, and I kept an eye out for those patterns. And sure as shit, it started happening, so I'm like, you know what? You don't get to decide this time. So when we start in the airbrush, might get a little noisy. And that's also it, Alex, is the schedule I had was more regular, but you can ask Aries and even Bill, towards the tail end of 23, I was not my normal self. I'm still trying to get back to that too, but they could see there was things in the background kind of affecting me that I really couldn't discuss, you know? Okay, so since we've discovered that Mission Models paint does not like to play nice, especially when it's misted on thin and not sealed, I'm going to use their tan primer to dust the model and then clean it off for streaking effects and things like that. I want to thin it down quite a bit, so that way I can keep the air low, keep it distant from the model, get it on there almost dry. Made that a bit too thin, I think. I don't want to cover up a lot of the work I've already done, but I want to kind of blend it with what I've got here now. And as I remove it, you'll see a lot of the earlier work start showing through. Kind of like how you can see that I've done some mud effects and stains and things like that. Still want those there, and we'll add more after too. Because as we all know, when it rains mud. Rain is not clean at all. I don't care what people tell you. And this tan primer is what I've found so far that really matches the overall tone of the dust that rain leaves behind. And you'll see how it comes into play here more. Not only that, but it's also dulling down the overall surface of the model. Which is going to play a big part. Knocking down that chrome perfectly. The spattering is okay. I kind of want that too. And you just want to put it on almost like a really frosty dull coat. Like if you have a dull coat that's gone bad. Either I'm having a stroke or something's burning. The wheel wells a little bit too. Not that you're really going to see much of that. I'm not going to be displaying this model with the hood open very much, to be honest. I just hope the idea I have in mind works. Or we'll be finding an alternate means of doing something. Again, do I expect anyone to really pick this up? No. But the overspray going onto the top might help with some things. I'm pretty sure there's probably somebody out there going, "My God, what are you doing? You're ruining it." But also consider this practice for another rig that I want to do. Probably by this time next year. Problem is, the kit is only made by Italy. and it's $80 right now. And it's a particular type of Freightliner. I'll need to modify the sleeper cabin on it and some other things and get some decals off eBay. It was used in a popular 80s film. If anyone can guess the truck, give it a try. Go a little heavier on these because there's no mud flaps. Well, that's just Bill Robertson, thank you for the tip of $25. It's very much appreciated. It'll go towards the, I mean, would you like to know what the truck is that I want to do? Think 1986 martial arts action white Freightliner. That's the plan. Everything that gets sent to me gets put into my savings, so. Ow, ow. Well, either the truck or a new airbrush unit. I'd have had the airbrush unit by now, except I had one of the seat rails on the Camaro brake. So I had to order a new set of those. I'll be putting those on Thursday. That was $200 I didn't need to spend. You're drawing a blank on an 80s John Carpenter movie with a truck in it and Kurt Russell? I only drive as fast as I can see, and beyond that, it's all in the reflexes. Yeah, I want to try doing the Pork Chop Express. I have it saved on my Amazon wish list. Give me a second. I know I can do this in Twitch, but not in YouTube, unfortunately. So if I get this, I'll have to scratch build the back sleeper cabin. I'll have to extend the one that's there in length and height. But it's the right kind of truck as far as the cab, the hood, and the frame. Where is it? Yeah, it's the Freightliner FLC. Good God, it's gone up even more. when I first found it, it was 65 bucks. And then it went up and up and up and up. So I'll keep an eye on it, and either the price will come down or I'll have the funds to get it. I'm not in a rush. I've got this and a Peterbilt wrecker. And somebody on eBay makes decals for the truck. When it comes to certain things, I'm beginning to trust eBay a lot less, but you're right. There's no bids on that. Let me put that on the watch list. Thank you for that. Well, I searched eBay at the time, and they were bid only on there. And then if you scroll down a little bit, you'll see two others in the $75 range. And it's usually the $75 ones that we see more, unfortunately. Okay, so let me get some Q-tips. And some brushes. Let's go with my flat and my fan. We'll try the fan brush first, because I want to see if I can get this stuff to streak. So much. Might need to use a slightly stiffer brush. Oh, there we go. There we go. Yes. Because I'm kind of going for that look. Bad movie to use as a reference, but I know it's probably one that most people have seen here. Transformers, Revenge of the Fallen. I noticed it when Optimus Prime was in the cemetery talking to Sam. But he's got rain on his windshields on his chest. He's got like rain streaks and marks. And then he's got clean paths where his wipers have gone over. And that's what I'm trying to replicate here. So yeah, we'll see how things go in the next couple weeks with paydays and emergencies popping up. Like the new battery I had to get for my car the other day. Not the Camaro, the wife's car. And then the seat parts for my car. If things level out and stop giving me emergencies, then yeah, we'll get the Pork Chop Express going sooner than we thought. See what it does down here. lot of this is new to me as far as this kind of weathering. Normally you do it on tanks, flat finish, and they're allowed to look overly dirty. You know, you don't have to be as, I don't want to say precise, but you can be sloppier on a tank than you can on a car or a truck. Oh, there we go. There we go. Oh, we're having a happy time now. I know what I forgot to put on. The Western, or the logos right here. I can put those on later and blend them in. Oh yeah, this is going to be fun now. Do around the edge here a little bit. It's almost like the hairspray technique. You got to get it a little damp first, then come back, and then you can mess it up a little bit more. There. Oh, this is going to look nice in pictures. Actually, let me see if I can find that picture and I'll show you guys. Where's that one I had? There we go. Like, this is the perfect example of kind of what I'm trying to go for. Come on, camera. Open up. Not as heavily coated, like evenly coated, but I want to show that kind of effect. Like that. But I want it to be a bit more streaky. Marbles, what are you doing? Oh, he's scratching at the donut. We got our cats one of those zip-together donuts for Christmas, and Frankie and Allie have monopolized it. But Marbles will come down and use it from time to time as well. Let's see what I can do about getting through to the metal again on here. And I've got some sand wash coming today as well. I might go back over in some areas, like the battery box here, and just put that around some of the cracks just to really give it a bit more depth if this doesn't do. Oh, there we go. does on the entire edge. Yes, much better than last week's endeavors. Last week's stream left me with a bad taste in my mouth, I gotta tell you that. I think it was mostly me just not being in the right headspace, but just frustration in general as well. But I'm just glad you can thank the wife for finding the new chair that allows me to sit better, which again isn't being a detriment on my comfort. And she also found a pop-up photography booth for me. So one of those boxes, it's like the white reflective material with the backdrop you can put into it. So I'll see about how I can add that to my shorts work. See if I can fit the turnstile in there. Maybe get some better things going on the shorts there. Yeah, actually the frame I think I'll leave alone for the most part. I like how it's kind of dusty. I'll probably add more around the rivets. Let's just keep working on the body and the wheels. The wheels are actually almost where I want them. I just don't want the dust being as even. I could even go back with this tan primer thinned out and use that as a wash if I really wanted to. But I know people are probably wanting to see this. So let's get to the reveal on it. I hope it turned out how I want it to. Close enough for government work. Oh yeah, I know. Even where I was downrange, we had a basically a material storage area right by our squadron building. And when we had to walk out there and help people move stuff, like to be the for lack of a better word, the guide. It was like walking in talcum powder. Because it's just been driven over so much, it's just been ground into that fine dust you were describing. There we go. Looks good to me. And you can see how it's kind of wearing down on the paint there. I'm taking it slow. I don't want to do it all in one shot. If I have to make multiple passes wearing the stuff down, that's fine. I'd rather leave a little too much on than take it off and have to totally reapply it again. Clear off his little blind spot window there. Leave enough on it. There we go. It's kind of what we're working toward. Get a little wetter again. And this is an example of what I was talking about in some of the other streams, where even if a product doesn't work properly like you're expecting, don't always get rid of it, because you can usually find another way to reuse it, right? Like, I'm probably not going to buy many more Mission Models paints unless it's one of those they are the only ones with what I need kind of situations, right? But what I've got is proving useful. Like, I'm finding a way to utilize the tendencies they have to not stick well, or to reactivate with when they get wet again with something else. But I know they're also compatible with, like, Vallejo and other brands' paints. So I can also use them to mix together colors, and the binders in the Vallejo will counteract any shortcomings in the Mission Models paint. How is everybody today? Everybody have a good weekend? I will not be off on New Year's. Typically, like on New Year's nights, when I am off, I would try and do a stream till at least midnight, if not a little later. Not possible this year. But I'm off Thursday and Friday after. So, should I try and do something like that? But seeing as how the rest of the world will be out of sync with that, it's really not the best idea. Plus, in some weird way, I know I've mentioned it before, Twitch is trying to tell me that the peak viewing times are between like 5 and 10 a.m. But I'm sorry, on my days off, I generally like to sleep in. I don't set my alarm clock. So I'm usually not waking up till 9 a.m. part of me wants to go back and remist the top of the hood a little bit more. But I'm thinking not. The dust, especially from the front tires, really wouldn't get on it that much. And, you know, the dust would accumulate more towards the rear as it raises up and then get washed off. So I think I'll stick with it how it is right here. I did mist it very, very slightly, but not too heavily. Alright, thanks for stopping in, and thanks again for the donation. It will go to a good use. Hope you have a good day. It is Monday. Clean off the lights. There we go. I really like where this is going now. Another reason I'm not too terribly concerned with being extremely perfect on this kit is it had a lot of troubles just out of the box. Which model? This one? Or the F-16 you're wanting? Oh, yeah, Bill found it on eBay for $40. And if that one or one like it is still available around that price, I might get it next payday. I'm a bit tapped out right now. I've had $200+ vehicle problems come up within a week of each other, so I'm not exactly in a position to spend $40 on something like that. If those problems hadn't happened, I'd probably jumped on it right now, but unfortunately, responsibilities come first. Oh yeah, this is dusted on perfectly. If I had a small enough finger, I could write, "I wish my wife was this dirty," in the dust. Crap, gotta reglue that too. Speaking of which, I am waiting for a drop-off from Amazon today. Let me see if it's here or not. Not yet. And Ed 209 won't be here till Saturday. Alright. So Good Smile Company makes a model of Ed 209, a plastic model kit. It's better than the Horizon one, which was like the peak at the time. At the contest I went to down in Salt Lake a few months back, somebody was there trying to sell the very same kit for $150. It's a $50 model. You know what the reasoning was? It's not currently in production. Well, it came back into production. But a perfect example of how the scalpers really fuck things up. I knew it was coming back into production as well, so that was a planned purchase for about 6 months, so. Break this up a little bit back here, but I don't want to get too much. Just because of the way everything swirls. Make it look like he came back with a rag and just wiped the window down sideways. So you can make sure his load wasn't falling off into teenagers' cars. Oh, and everyone's like, "Oh, why don't you just 3D print an Ed 209? I haven't found any that I actually like all the proportions of. And not the 87 one, anyway. It's the only way I can get the 2014 one. have to rethink not streaking down the frame just a little bit. Well, that's the same contest that I picked up the Heinrich suit from Machine & Krieger for 20 bucks, which is an excellent price for a kit that's long out of production. I picked up the Nutcracker for 70, which I think is a fair price. A bit steep, but fair. I'm kind of wearing this area because that's where your main step up is to get onto the back of the truck for load securing, things like that. I might come back with a thinned down mixture of this. I want to see how the sand stuff that I ordered today works. But I might come back with a thinned down mixture and use it around some of these details and rivet heads a bit more excessively. This is coming out now. I was kind of on the fence about a few things, but now I'm really starting to feel it. I still have to paint those. That's what I was going to paint. Where's my steel? Even aluminum will work. This is where the hoses for the trailer hook up. What's really nice is the kit for the logging trailer actually comes with all of the extra bits and pieces you would need for a more specific logging truck. So I did miss this. So let me try and put some streaking like this on it. Get you wet down a little bit. I just hope the paint itself doesn't soften and come off, because it is Vallejo. It's been more than a day, but sometimes this stuff still likes to just come off on your fingers. I'm probably going to come back and give some of the upper surfaces here and along here a burnishing, because I could easily see the logging crews, someone standing up here and watching the trailer to make sure everything's getting loaded right. So we might chip the hell out of this too. I still have to get chains for the tie down so I can put some stuff in here. Have to go through and make the logs. But I think we're done with the rig for right now. Let's get the trailer in here. Let's see says right here. Yep, popping the tread a bit better. And the overspray even dulled down the aluminum rims just right. Why am I going nuts? Hold on, I'm just clearing some stuff. Alright. Where were we? Unfortunately, people will always increase the value of something they perceive to be rare or wanted, even if the item isn't particularly rare to begin with. I'm trying to streak up the mud flaps on the rear here. Doing something right. And it's kind of bringing up some of the darker brown earth tone wash that I put on it before. Which is also good. Varies it up a little bit. Yeah. See? Oh yeah, I believe that. But the worst part about when they're doing big jobs like that is not so much the trucks, it's the people that are driving around the trucks. They just give absolutely zero fucks. Maybe I should put a bit more dirt on the sides here. Whoopsie! But I guess it would make sense that the top sides are more dirty because that's where all the mud from the trees is washing down, from the trunks. That's where everybody's walking with their muddy boots to put the tie-down chains on, stuff like that. I'm just trying to think of, you know, the actions around the equipment as I do this. Like you've probably noticed I got the trough full of dirt from all the logs that have sat on it in the past. Yeah, those two. These are the people that would shoot the nuclear weapon. Not that gunfire would set it off, but they'd still be stupid enough to do it. This is also teaching me some things that I can use on the tank transporter when I get around to doing it. Because its cargo will be even dirtier on the average. That's right, I had to glue one of these because it wouldn't stay on the axle. Okay. it's been 2 hours and I haven't taken a break. Good lord. Let me take a move around break, and we'll be right back. Thought I felt the need to stand up hit a little while back. Alright. Just a moment. So I'm back, but while I was up, somebody else decided she wanted to be in charge. Can I sit down, Allie? No? I'm gonna have to move you. Come here, girl. You wanna get up here? Chair cat. Nope. You wanna get down? Okay. Well, fine. You're gonna be in my lap for a minute then. There we go. Yeah. Nope, no table. Nope. Thank you, Allie. It's always so entertaining having you on the stream. Anything else I can do for you, girl? Hmm? Grabbed a snack while I was up. Allie, what are you doing? No, she can't. And I'm not about to get into the 1/14 scale ones. I've got enough money invested in my RC tanks, I don't need to get into RC semi-trucks. But she's found a way to keep herself in the way but out of the way. Pretty girl. Until I get her down. What's up? I get the feeling there's a language barrier here. Allie? I can't do anything while you're laying there. Gonna have to get you down. Come on. Good girl. Down you go. Alright, so to satiate my curiosity, I'm going to try thinning a little of this out on the brush and using it like a wash. We'll see what happens. It'll either fail spectacularly or work magnificently. I don't know yet which. she get back in the donut? It's Frankie over there. Actually, maybe the next build should be the shuttlecraft from Star Trek: The Original Series with a full interior. Got that at the same time I got this kit, and I'd really like to get it off the shelf. I'd like to get the boxes thrown out. You know? To be honest, I just threw this trailer together. I mean, on some of the bigger parts I worried about seams, but on things like the suspension and stuff, I really didn't. I guess I could have, but I really didn't feel like it at the time. I'm just trying to get stuff finished. The more I have to stand around scratching myself while I figure it out, the worse it gets. Just come off the rim completely there. That one's alright. That one needs rebuilt. There. I had used glue or regular model glue originally. We're going to throw this back on with super glue. But I have to say, this is further along than the last semi-truck I tried building. So I'm happier about that. But that one I really didn't have a plan for, didn't have a trailer for it, nothing. It was kind of just... It really was an impulse buy, and it wound up like a lot of other impulse buys I had at the time. Just unfinished or lost parts, damaged in an unrecoverable way, so I'm like, forget it. So the tractor part here, I might do a short on today. I won't really be able to do one on the trailer assembled because it won't fit on the turntable. But I'll figure something out. But I'll have what I don't have what I need to finish off the trailer completely yet either. Get off my finger. There we go. Let me find my sponge. And there's my umber paint. That's wood. I think it was over here. Yep. Okay, I guess I used my paper towel up. So, roughing up the platform up here. Like I said, because this strikes me as something that the loaders and other loggers would stand on to make sure everything's being put on properly. So we're going to scuff it up. And here where they grab on climbing up. We'll go along and probably do the same thing, especially on the outer part of these arms. I can see these getting smacked a lot. Actually, I've seen pictures of these where you can barely tell what color they are through the dirt and the scratches. So. What's up with autofocus here? The rest of you seeing this? There we go. That was weird. Sorry, just giving it a look to see if anything really jumps out at me as needing more attention. I know what I can do next. I have to be careful while I'm doing it. Actually, I don't. I can just take them off since I know where they go. Really? There we go. Let me know what you'd like to see next. Something sci-fi, figure, military, another truck. I got 2 others I can work on. I've got a Peterbilt wrecker and a Kenworth cabover and trailer. The Kenworth would be a much cleaner build, obviously. And even though I don't have a trailer for it, I could look for the lowboy. I still have the Ertl Caterpillar bulldozer to build too. I started it, but then I realized how lacking the instructions are on that kit, and I put it away. Needless to say, the instructions are so badly drawn, I had to find pictures of the real engine in order to put the parts on. Go. We're coming to a close on today's stream. There's not a lot I can do stream-wise that's left. If it stops snowing, I might go outside to the peach tree and see what branches there are that I can clip to use for the cargo on this. Because overall they grow pretty straight and are somewhat uniform in size to replicate trunks. Kit originally had, these are the original logs that came with it. A little too perfect and too straight. No taper, no slight bends, no nothing. And depending on which version of the kit you got 2 logs and an I-beam, or you got 3 logs or something else. So. Yep. They won't be clogged, but they'll be grimy. So you got the texture of the mud, you got the color of the dust. A little bit of a mix of everything. But I'm going to let all this dry. Like I said, take this outside and the nippers and see what I can find. It doesn't even have to be the same diameter, but just anything that's within an inch or 3 of this that I can modify to use as cargo on the trailer. But that'll be it for today. So thanks everybody for watching. Thanks again to Robert for Bill Robertson for the donation of $25. And yeah, I'm gonna wrap it up for today at least. Next stream day should be Thursday. The next 2 days I'm off by 3. I can't promise anything those days, but if I get an energetic